Hey y'all, Lisa Davis here, the trusted banker. And why am I on Yahoo Finance? And I find this article today. They just let this out at 5 o'clock tonight Eastern Standard Time. So they're trying to slip this by us. Yahoo Finance, what y'all doing? But anyways, Walmart as a bank, I don't know. I get it, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because as a banker, as a former banker, I understand the premise of why this is happening, and I also understand that I I think it could be good and bad. Let's say it like that. So Walmart entering the banking industry. Let's talk about it. So the Walmart superstore, we all know, for groceries and low prices, is now throwing its hat into the financial services ring. Let's break it down and see what that means for consumers, especially low income consumers, because that's who they're targeting, right? First, let's look at what Walmart is offering. So they're not calling themselves a bank. And remember, if you've been following me, we started talking about the financial services industry, the fintech industry, financial technology and financial services. We are going to see a lot more of this. And I can't even say it's with the Trump administration, but because of the deregulation that the Trump administration is doing, and because of the relationship the financial industry has with this new administration, I can understand why this might be happening more now than any other administration, especially with the deregulation of the regulators that regulate the financial industry. We're going to see a lot more financial services, right? Financial services institutions that look like a bank, smell like a bank, sound like a bank, but are not a bank. Um, so, they offer debit cards, right? 3% cash back at Walmart, no monthly fees. They offer the Walmart Money Card. They offer reloadable debit cards, and they offer financial services like check cashing, bill pay, money orders, and even buy now, pay later services. So, like, you can do your layaways or whatever there on site. But here's the issue that I see with Walmart: they are targeting low income people, right? They want to be the resource for low income communities and people who are already paying high fees at paycheck cash in places and payday loans. This will help to circumvent that because I don't think Walmart's fees are going to be as loan sharker-ish. Your corner store, they charge 20% or they charge $5 on $100 or something like that. So that will help with the fees not being as high. So on the surface, Walmart looks like a better deal, but is it really a good thing to bank at Walmart? And let's look at this too. Walmart and other big box stores have had banks on the inside of them for a long time. A long time. You can go to the grocery store and there'll be a kiosk bank, right? You can go to Walmart, there'll be a kiosk bank. And so we have been getting used to this over decades, because banks have been in these big box stores for a while now, right? So it doesn't seem too unnatural. But according to the FDIC, over 5.6 million households in the United States are unbanked, right? And these are the people who don't have access to traditional banking services. Now, keep in mind, a lot of times in low income communities, banks have pulled out. But FDIC and Federal Reserve and OCC require that banks are in communities that they serve, and they have branches in all communities, especially low income communities. So again, I'm thinking if Walmart takes the stance where they'll be in the low income communities, does this relieve the banks of their obligation of making sure that low income communities have access to the banks of their choice if this is where they bank, right? And so Walmart doesn't offer products like credit cards. They don't offer products like personal loans. They don't offer mortgages or tools to help people build credit or invest. So that means they are really a fee for service type of financial services institution. They're not going to help you build equity. They're not going to help you get transportation. They can't even help you build your credit or start a business. But they definitely can be in your community to charge you fee for service for a debit card that you don't need. You don't need a Walmart debit card if you have a bank account. You just really don't, because you'll be paying service fees. Well, if they become some type of institution, they might not have the two fees, but I don't know. So while they're providing basic services, they're not really helping people grow their wealth or improve their financial literacy. And that is the job of the bank. And that is why the law states that the banks need to and are required to be in low-income communities just as much as they're in upper-income communities, to make sure that everybody has equal access to all banking products and services to help them build wealth for their family, to help them understand how to utilize those products and services, to leverage those monies, to grow their accounts, to grow their generational wealth. So here's the bigger question. Is Walmart stepping in to fill the gap that traditional banks have left wide open? Because again, if you search, you'll find that there's plenty of articles out there of how banks have walked away and left low-income communities bankless. This means that people in low-income communities, they might, they are bankless. So if they get their Social Security check, if they get their whatever check they get, or they go to work and when they come home to their community, to their city, some cities do not have a bank institution in that city. So that means that they have to find transportation to go outside of their city, outside of their community, to do their banking. And yes, we've got mobile banking, and yes, we've got online banking, but sometimes people need to go to the bank to find out, to do other types of transactions. And so banks have pulled out of low-income communities across the country, right? Across the country. And it makes it difficult for people, seniors, disabled, to get to where their money is, their money source. Or it makes it difficult for people that get paid on those cards to go and be able to pull out cash or transfer their monies, or at least understand how this works. So I don't know how I feel about it. I do not like people going to payday check cash in places and payday loan places. So I could see how it could benefit that, because Walmart would never be that expensive. But I don't like them being the financial services solution place of choice for low income, because it puts low income communities in a bubble, right? Because eventually, once you get used to this, once you start getting used to just going to Walmart for your services, you start using their debit card and paying the 3%. You get their credit card. You do their payday. You do their layaway type techniques. You forget that banks offer other things, and you forget that, hey, you might have wanted to learn how to invest or buy some stock or buy a house, right? You get so comfortable using these services that are so easy to use. And Walmart's got all kinds of hours, so they can service better. They can have better service hours than banks, so that makes it more convenient for people that work all different type of shifts. They're right there, so it's open, it's friendly, it seems safe because it's right there in the store. So it makes it seem safer for people. So, but it takes away the value of a banker. And if you're already low income, how do you work your way out of that? We have learned from research, there are generational renters, and these things are generational. If people don't see other options in front of their face, if people don't see another way of life, right? And it's hard to break those cycles if they don't see other avenues or ways to break those cycles. So it's like, the question is this just another way to keep people dependent on Walmart for their financial needs? Will this help raise their credit scores? Will this help them understand finances better? Will this encourage the unbanked to eventually transition into a bank? Will financial institutions partner with Walmart to help to fill that gap when people are ready to move over? So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about Walmart entering the banking industry? I mean, on one side, it makes sense because I do not like check cash in places. As a former banker over 20 years, I've seen many communities hurt with all these payday check cash in places and payday lending places. The interest rates are astronomical. People get caught up in the cycle of borrowing and paying back and borrowing and paying back just because of the interest fees, 30, 40%, 20, 30, 40%. So I don't like those, but Walmart will be cheaper. But again, as a banker over 20 plus years, I could see could eventually become a problem, especially for the youth that are growing up. Our youth that are growing up are already very much disconnected from what the dollar really is and what the dollar represents, because everything is on plastic. Everything is on plastic and everything is digital. And so when you don't see your money and you can't touch your money, money becomes almost unreal. It becomes something that's just a thing. And so you don't utilize your money wisely. And a lot of children, 10, 12, 16, I teach financial literacy to kids. And they just are like, I got my Cash App card, I have my PayPal card, and when it gets empty, my daddy just put more money on it. We're not really teaching our kids what money really is, because money is earned. You have to go to work to earn it. It's not just when your card is empty, you refill it, right? And so what are we teaching the youth when we start to move away from banks and the kids just think, well, we could just go to Walmart and get a debit card and we'll just pay the fees. Our generation that's coming up behind us, the young people, the Gen Alphas, everything is consumerism for them, and everything for them, they expect to pay fees for everything they do. They don't expect to see transactions that don't have a fee. They expect to pay, and pay they will, right? And so when you're used to banking, you don't pay for your debit card. You don't pay to pull your money out your bank. And it also helps you to budget when you can pull your money. I mean, I'm not saying you need to go pull your money out, but it helps you to budget when you can actually see your money and you can see, this is how much all my bills are, and this is really how much I have left. So you're not overdrawing your account. You're not overdrawing your reloadable card. You're not running out of money before your bills are paid. Your lights are not going off, but you out at the club. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think it's interesting. But mark my words, we are going to see more types of fintech, financial technology, and financial services entities pop up that look like a bank, smell like a bank, sound like a bank, but are not a bank. And it's going to be fee for service. It's all going to be transactional. It's all going to cost you money. It's going to make you feel like you're banking, and you're not banking. You're spending your money to spend your money. And I personally, especially as a banker, I feel like that's wrong. I don't do it. I will drive 5 miles to get to my ATM, so I don't have to pay for transaction fees. I go to my bank's ATM, and if I can't get to my bank's ATM, then I just don't go to the ATM. So anyways, that's what I see from it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Walmart is entering the banking industry and the low cost financial services. Don't forget that movie that came out a long time ago too, the low cost. What is it? That movie that came out? It was a documentary on Walmart. The high cost of low prices. Like there's always something, when you find that something sounds too good to be true, or it looks like it's too good to be true. So thanks for watching. Talk to me in the comment section, and I will holler at y'all next time. Lisa Davis, Trusted Banker. See you later. Bye.